Welcome back to the channel. It's Mazer. Did you miss me? I don't think you did. But we have now watched Jurassic World, and just now recently, I have watched Superman, the superest man, to some, but not to all. Let's start the review. Non-spoilers, first of all. It's my favorite Superman movie. It's my favorite DC movie, I think. Yeah, it's my favorite DC movie. It's just my favorite one of all time. Yeah. DC was kind of on the rocks before this movie. Like, the best DC content you got was from shows, most of them animated. I would say most of the animated shows are good, and then you had a couple of good seasons of The Flash, a couple good seasons of Supergirl. The whole Arrowverse thing, most of those early seasons were good because they had, ideas, and then it just got worse over time. But nah, Superman's the first, good movie. And it's like an issue from a comic book. It literally just that. You don't expect to have an origin story at all. There's no origins for anything, really. It's just a comic book issue, which is really good. Because, honestly, that format just makes a lot more sense. Because it really sucks that you have to, you're almost, waiting for the plot to get developed just to get to a cool story. Like, a lot of directors will be making, a Spider-Man movie, per se, and they'll have an idea of doing something for Spider-Man, but then they realize, wait, I have to develop the character first, or else it doesn't make sense. But then James Gunn has clearly shown you don't need to actually have an origin story just to show who this character is. You can develop a character in the same movie while having him do something that's theoretically in his late game era. This Superman, getting into minor spoilers now, he is Superman for about 3 years. So we're not getting an origin story for Superman. This is a Superman that's been in the game for a little bit. So obviously we don't have to have an origin story to know that he is a kind-hearted symbol of hope for the people. He's strong. He has lasers. He has eyes for us. We know these things, guys. We know this stuff. What we don't know is how is he going to react to, a freaking monster pulling up. And that's what happens in the movie. Now we're getting to spoilers here. So Superman does have this interesting character of being a human being. You see, in a lot of other Superman projects, mainly Snyder Superman, he's not very human. They almost make it so you can clearly tell he's not human. A big point of his character is not being human and just being a crazy strong, essentially the Hulk of the DC universe. The moment he shows up, you know it's going down. But then that's not really Superman's character. I think a lot of people would agree that Superman isn't just punching. He's actually just talking. Weirdly enough, I think the best way to explain it is with Batman and Superman. Especially the Lego games. The Lego games actually know it to a T. Superman is super strong, has lasers, all this strong abilities, but he's still flying down saying hi. Batman, on the other hand, Lego Batman here, he's beating you up on sight. It doesn't matter. Superman doesn't really just fight. He talks it out. You can see in the movie, he literally is telling the two people that almost suffocated him to death, hey, can you guys, just not be bad guys? Can you guys, you don't have to work for Lex Luthor. Because, mind you, this human being doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't really kill anyone in this movie until the end. And, it's very clear that that's intentional. He's not a murderer. He is a country boy who went to the big city to do good. He's not a monster like certain people want to put him out to be. And a really big element of this movie was the parallel between him and, really everybody else in the movie, actually. The first parallel we get to see is actually, I want to say, between Superman and the Justice Gang. The Justice Gang. So they are heroes, too. But they're heroes for hire. They're not doing it for the love of the game. They're doing it for money. So here you have Green Lantern being Guy Gardner Green Lantern. And then you have Hot Girl and you have Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific, to my knowledge, is the least corrupt out of the three. Mind you, they're all still in it for money, but he's at least just bad. But then we have Hot Girl. Hot Girl is A-okay with murder. she will just kill the opponent. Same thing with Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner, but like we've seen her we've just seen her actually kill a person. She just drops them to their death, which is a very weird scene to put in the movie, but it does characterize her and really just the group as what they are. Mercenaries for hire, essentially. Guy Gardner, he has a similar story where he is just like willing to do whatever it takes to get money. He's also just not that friendly. I think it's definitely important to his character that he's just not a really great guy. He doesn't want to save Superman. He doesn't really feel the need to. Like, he wants to claim their brothers because, they all wear suits. They're superheroes, I guess. But he's not willing to go against the military to save Superman, even if he knows he's not a bad guy. But, of course, I didn't just want to give you my review. I did ask a good buddy of mine his opinions on the movie and overall what he thinks. So, I remember most of what he said. So, let's get into that. One of the things we talked about was actually, is Superman better than Man of Steel? Or are we bugging? So, he didn't watch Man of Steel. So, that means that one movie's better than the other because he didn't want to watch Man of Steel. I watched both the movies. I can definitely say visually, Man of Steel has better fight scenes. Not even that. Yes, has better fight scenes. I can say that for sure. Better fight scenes, but I think James Gunn shot the fight scenes in Superman better. There's more color. And there's overall more characters, just makes it just way better to see. It's not just Superman fighting Superman, because like that's what Man of Steel was. It was just Superman versus Zod. That's just two Supermans fighting. Versus Superman 2025, you're getting Hawkgirl, like I said, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific. You're getting to see, of course, you still have your Superman versus Superman with the clone situation, but it just looks like a lot better of a movie. And it is a long movie. I do think they should have cut some stuff, but I think it works out anyways. It really does feel like a comic book. You could legit make this movie into a comic book, which I think it has heavy inspirations from some comic book. I don't know which one, but I feel like this plot isn't entirely original. Not in a bad way, but I feel like it does have inspiration from some type of comic book. But it is still an amazing story. Another thing we wanted to mention here is actually Superman being a symbol of hope. Despite the fact that he gets beat up a lot in this movie, compared to like any other Superman project where he's just always impenetrable, he gets beat up a lot in this movie. And what makes it so great about him getting beat up is that it can show him getting up. See, me and him were actually talking about, me and my friend, I should probably say that, but we were talking about who's a better symbol of hope, Captain America or Superman. And what makes these two characters such good symbols of hope for their individual universes, inside and out of them, is that they get up after getting beat up. And I would argue that Captain America is a better symbol of hope because he's more human and he just naturally gets beat up more, but he's getting up all the time. He can do it all day. Superman, I would think that he doesn't have that opportunity to even do that because he's usually just winning. Like, he's a good symbol of hope for his universe, but I feel like he's, like, writer-wise, I feel like from the reader's perspective, he's not as good. But this movie does help that a lot by having him fight opponents that do give him the weak knees. Superman is on the ground a lot in this movie. He has a lot of ups and downs. It's not even just him getting beat up. He has to deal with a lot of emotional distress in the movie. One guy he barely even knew, but had like one nice interaction with, Lex Luthor found and said, "I'm going to kill this guy." And then this Superman literally just is crying on the ground. Like, bro, all he did was like, give me a free falafel. And he's now dead because of me. Like, it's a great scene that just shows that Superman can be hurt, but more importantly, that he gets up every single time. Because after that scene, he does try to escape, and he's successful. Because Superman, I want to say his optimism is infectious, even in this movie. Not quite to the level you would expect it from other books, but again, he does inspire a lot of people in this movie. He inspires Mr. Terrific. He inspires Hawkgirl. He inspires the whole entire country. He saves the country, and this entire country puts up flags for Superman and says, yeah, we're going to stand here. We're going to stand tall. Superman is a great character, guys. Let's not act like he's still not the GOAT of DC. But now you talk about Superman. It's a great movie. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Only complaint is fight scenes weren't quite as good as I wanted them to be. I feel like Superman could have done better. A lot of good still shots in the movie. There are a lot of like shots in the movie that could literally just be a home screen for your phone or for your laptop. I just don't think the fight scenes were that good. I'm not going to rewatch the movie for fight scenes. I don't think this movie is as rewatchable as some movies were. Because the comedy is carried by Mr. Terrific, and he is very good. But it's not enough for me to want to rewatch it. It's still a good movie. It's like comic books. You don't really want to reread most comic books unless they're the peak of all comic books, which is why I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10. Very good story. No complaints, really. But no rereadability, if you put it in comic book perspective. But there's more to talk about, guys. This last minute, I want to talk about Supergirl. Ladies and gentlemen, Supergirl pops out at the end of the movie, and we have the opportunity to talk about possibly the cooler super of the two. Supergirl is, I think she's stronger than Superman. I don't know if it's like, I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure she is. I forget where I heard that. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure she's stronger. But even if she's not, she is really just a cooler character. She's already characterized really well, being a party kind of character, almost, I want to say, similar to a Guardians of the Galaxy character. I'm trying to pick the name on it. Let's just say Star-Lord for fun. Yeah, she's just Star-Lord. And she just flies around in space, presumably partying around near Red Suns to get drunk and have a good time. I can't wait for that movie to come out. But this is more of a personal gripe with me. She's got to do some wicked stuff in that movie. I don't want to see Superman level stuff. She isn't a symbol of hope like Superman is. So don't do that. You can definitely make her into whatever you want. So just go ahead and go wild. Do what you need to make her a different character for one, but also a fun character. Because she's just literally just take a script you had for an early, I don't know, like a Star-Lord movie or a Star-Lord show, and just make that all her. You can do that. Sure, why not? She's the same character. As far as I'm concerned, that's the same person. And they've already made it clear that she's not really caring about Earth that much at all. So go ahead and just expand the space universe of DC. Because Marvel space is heavily developed. Like, you could almost map out the solar system for the MCU. The DCU, I would argue, if you really think about it, I feel like they have a bigger space anyways. I don't know that's for sure. I feel like they don't go as deep as the cosmic stuff, but I feel like they have a similar amount of cosmic things, and we just need to develop that. Because right now, the only cosmic things people probably, like, the average viewer knows for DC is gonna be like Darkseid and Doomsday. No, I don't think Doomsday is from a different planet. So just Darkseid. Darkseid is like the only alien, and I guess there's like also Brainiac, but there's like just alien invaders. We don't get to see like actual planets. So it's gonna be a great idea to actually just shove the just world of DC and make it like a brighter place. This is pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. DC is looking pretty good. But just to wrap up the video, again, 9 out of 10 movie, amazing. Let's just go ahead and just get my little piece here. I really want to see The Flash. I just want to see The Flash. I do wish the fight scenes were better. I'm going to keep comparing it until it dies. Sonic 3 has my favorite fight scenes out of any live action movie, I think, to date. I just like how they did the flying and the super speed at the same time. It just works so well. I think they need to do that for Superman with the flying, but I think they also need to do the speed with the Flash as well. Because, like, come on, guys. We all want the Flash. We already know Grant Gustin's the perfect actor, but again, we could have multiple people play. I think there's other actors that could play the Flash. I mean, if you want to just go for a young person, I have no idea. Please don't make it Tom Holland or Timothy Chalamet, or do. I mean, I prefer you not, but as long as they can act well. But a weird pick that I personally like is Andrew Garfield, because he can actually just act. He's just a really good actor, but he is older, so it's not the best choice. But again, this universe isn't actually exactly about having the origin story, so it doesn't matter. It's just about having these fun characters do a nice story. The first Flash movie will have Reverse Flash in it. Like, I'm gonna bet you that 100 times out of 1,000,000 times. That's actually really bad odds, but still, it's gonna happen because they don't have to. What James Gunn's doing right now, you don't actually have to have an origin story, so you can just do what you want. You can write the story you want to write. Which is what really sucks with modern movies. They always have a plan to be a giant cinematic universe. And even like the most simple movies, people will be begging for a sequel. And you got to realize that the art of the movie isn't always having a crazy long series where you start making like shows and HBO Max specials. You can just have a singular movie and it'll stand out. It'll be its own thing. Like Superman, it's its own thing. I don't think you need to watch Superman to watch anything else. You won't need to. You can watch Superman, then you can watch Wonder Woman, and then you can watch The Flash. And then someday they'll make a Justice League movie, and then it'll be good, hopefully. Not even hopefully. I have pretty high hopes for DCU. I think they're doing a good job so far. So yeah, I don't think they really have to worry about that, which is a really great thing. But anyways, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments down below. Did you like Superman? Did you really like the fight scenes? Because that's my only gripe. I don't really like the fight scenes that much. And who's your favorite character? And if you're Superman, then you're super, man.